Yo, what is up? Welcome to Bible Lounge. For the very first Bible Lounge video, I thought it was fitting to give you an introduction. So, for the first part of this introduction video, I'm going to give you the purpose of Bible Lounge. I'm going to summarize the purpose of Bible Lounge. And for the second part of this introductory video, I thought it would be good to give you a little bit of personal information about who I am. Who is the guy that's on the camera, all right? Stick around. Starting with the first thing, what is Bible Lounge all about? The purpose of Bible Lounge, the channel, is to first take difficult topics, difficult theologies, difficult Christian concepts. There's a lot of C letters there. Difficult Christian concepts, and summarizing them and making them very palatable. There's a lot of difficult theology, for example, in the Christian faith or Christian world, so to speak, Christian studies. And my idea is to present them in a simplified and easier to consume manner. Let me give you an example. The debate, if you will, if we can call it that, between Calvinism and Arminianism, right? It all hinges on the doctrine of election. And that is a very difficult to understand theology, very difficult to understand doctrine. And so what I would do in that video, which would be at a later date, would be not to give you my side or arguments for why I believe what I believe, but to show you the core of what the theology is in the first place. No matter what side you're on, there's going to be those core issues, those core principles. And so what I would do is give you those core principles. And a major thing that I want to point out in this Bible Lounge is that I'm going to do my best to not present my side, to not be biased towards one side or the other in any various theology, except perhaps theologies that are mandatory, for instance, like the deity of Christ. Yes, I believe Jesus is God, or the Trinity, that the Bible describes God as 3 in 1. Those are obvious mandatories, right? Majors. We're talking about the minors, the doctrines that aren't important for salvation, so to speak. Okay, and then on the flip side, what we're going to do is take simple things, simple topics that have really come to lose their meaning, and dig into them, peel them open like an onion, and see what more depth is inside of them. One such video I will get to in the future would be answering the question, what is a Christian? And at face value it seems very easy, but there's no doubt some more depth to understanding what a Christian is and what are the responsibilities of a Christian. All right? And so ultimately, the goal is to just have a casual type conversation where we are learning the Bible, where we can just come and grow and develop in our Christian walks, in our spiritual maturity, and in our biblical knowledge, without any necessarily biased viewpoints, as much as I can. I just want us to learn and grow, and we can just have a great Bible Lounge discussion. And so for part 2 is a little bit about me. My name is Daniel. I have been married for 9 years. I have 2 kids, and I've been a Christian since 2005. Let's see, it's 2020 at the time of this video, so roughly 15 years. Let's see. Yeah, it'll be actually 16 years in May. My spiritual birthday is May 17th. And in 2007, so here's a little bit about my life. In 2007, I went on a missions trip to Israel. I had got saved in 2005, and about 2 years later, I went on a missions trip to Israel. I can tell you that trip changed my life. That trip really catapulted my faith. Really exposed me to street evangelism, to missions work, in fact, I worked at this place called the Door of Hope. They served the prostitutes, really helping them get off the streets and getting them fed and new clothes, and homeless people. I got to befriend a Holocaust survivor, which, let me tell you, that was a privilege. And I became her friend, actually, and over the course of the 5 months I was in Israel. So that really catapulted my faith and exponentially grew my faith. After that, in 2009, 2 years later, I also went through with the same ministry called Send Ministries to India for 5 months. And again, that place completely changed my life. It just catapulted my faith even farther. And the good thing about India, the amazing thing about India, if you've never been there, God just does amazing things there. You have so many opportunities for God to move. And I can tell you that it is in India where I really, really, truly discovered God was gifting me to be a teacher. That's where I really started to feel the call of God on my life as a teacher or pastor or both. Because I had many opportunities to teach, and I began to really fall in love with teaching the Word of God. And in 2010, I went back the following year, but not through the ministry this time, just by myself. And I actually was able to find somebody to go with me. And we went to India, just the two of us. We had planned to stay there for more than a year. And it just didn't happen. We had to come back after 2 months. But in those 2 months, or actually in coming back, we realized that God still wanted us to be on like mission per se, right? And we really wanted to have the mentality that we're coming back to America as missionaries. And so we started a house church, and that house church lasted for 3.5 to 4 years. And in that time, I really served as a sort of pastor teacher alongside my friend, and we appointed 2 other pastor teachers, and the Lord definitely used it, and it was a great fellowship. And we, after 4 years, realized that God was allowing it to dissolve. But it was during that house church ministry that I met my wife. I got married. Actually, I didn't meet her. I met her before I started that, but we got married because of that ministry. Her sister started coming, and that's a whole different story. But it was through that ministry that we ended up really getting married. And then during that same time, about halfway through that ministry, I started going back to school. I applied and I got my GED, and then God called me to pursue a bachelor's in biblical studies. And so I am now graduated as of 2017 with a bachelor's of biblical studies. Hopefully one day we'll pursue a master's in divinity. And now I am currently teaching at a Vietnamese church as the English ministries pastor here in California. And so, yeah, that's a little bit about me. And I'll see you when we actually get to some content for the first video. Thanks for watching.